1. Introduction. My name is Ashley. I am a baker. I work in a small, warm bakery in the city. Every morning, I wake up very early. I go to the bakery and start my work. I bake fresh bread. I also make sweet cakes and tasty cookies. The good smell of fresh baking fills the air. My life was simple and peaceful. I liked my quiet routine. I enjoyed making people happy with my baked goods. This was my life day after day. I was happy with my simple days. One day, the weather was not good. It was a rainy morning. Rain fell heavily outside. The street looked wet and gray. Few people were out. I was busy in the bakery making fresh coffee. Then the door opened. A man came in. He had a kind smile. His eyes were friendly and warm. His name was Tom. He ordered a cup of coffee and a slice of my apple cake. He did not leave quickly. Instead, he stayed and talked to me. He asked about my day. He told me small, funny stories. I felt comfortable talking to him. The next day, Tom came back. And the day after that, he came again. He always ordered coffee and something sweet. He always stayed to talk. Our talks became longer. We talked about many things. We talked about our lives and our dreams. We laughed a lot together. Tom was a charming man. He had a great sense of humor. He was also very kind. He listened carefully when I spoke. He made me feel important. He made me feel special like no one else before. My simple life started to change. It became brighter. Soon, Tom started waiting for me after work. We walked home together. We talked more and more. Our connection grew quickly. I looked forward to seeing him every day. It felt like we had known each other for a long time. Our feelings for each other grew strong. After only a few months, Tom asked me a very important question. One evening, under the soft streetlights, he asked me to marry him. I was so happy. I did not need to think about it. I said yes immediately. We planned a wedding. It was a small wedding. Only our closest family and friends were there. The day was beautiful. I wore a simple white dress. Tom wore a nice suit. We said our promises to each other. We exchanged rings. Everyone smiled. There was a lot of joy. We celebrated our love. It was a very intimate day. After the wedding, we started our new life together. I felt like I was the happiest woman in the world. This was the start of what seemed like a perfect new life for me. 2. First doubts. The first year of marriage for Ashley and Tom was truly wonderful. It felt like a perfect dream. They shared a nice, comfortable apartment not far from Ashley's bakery. Every day was happy. Tom continued to be very kind. He often brought home fresh flowers for Ashley. Sometimes he would surprise her with little gifts, like a new book or a special chocolate bar. Ashley felt very loved and secure. She believed her new life was everything she had ever wanted. Their home was always warm and full of laughter. She felt very lucky to have Tom. After about 1 year, Ashley started to notice small changes in Tom's actions. At first, they were very small, almost easy to miss. But then, they happened more often. Tom began to come home later in the evenings. He used to be home right after work. Now, he would call and say he had to stay late. He often said he had important work meetings. Other times, he explained he had to meet new clients. He was in real estate, so Ashley tried to understand. She thought his job was simply getting busier. His phone was another change. Tom's phone became very important to him. He started to keep it close all the time. If it rang, he would look at the screen quickly. Sometimes, he would leave the room to answer a call. He would go into the bedroom or step out onto the balcony. He spoke in a low voice. When he came back, he would not talk about the call. Ashley found this strange. Before, he would answer calls anywhere and talk openly. Now, his phone felt like a secret. Ashley tried to tell herself that everything was fine. She told herself that Tom was just working hard for their future. She trusted him completely. He was her husband, and she loved him very much. She did not want to think badly of him. She tried to find good reasons for his new behavior. Maybe his work was truly very busy. Maybe the calls were private business matters. She wanted to believe his words. She wanted to believe that her dream life was still perfect. But even with her strong trust, a quiet feeling of worry began to grow inside Ashley. It was a small, soft voice in her mind. This voice asked questions. Why was he so late? Why were the phone calls secret? Ashley tried to ignore this feeling. She pushed the questions away. She wanted to believe only good things. However, the small unease stayed. It was like a tiny cloud in her otherwise sunny sky. It was the first time she felt unsure about her perfect new life with Tom. 3. A shocking visit. An evening came, like many other evenings. Ashley was working at the bakery. The day was almost over. The smell of fresh bread was still in the air. Then, the bell above the door rang. A woman walked in. She was a stranger to Ashley. This woman looked very elegant. She had long, dark hair. Her clothes looked expensive and new. Ashley had never seen her before. The woman did not order right away. She stood quietly. She looked around the bakery, but mostly she looked at Ashley. Her eyes watched Ashley closely. Ashley felt a little strange. She wondered why the woman was staring. Ashley tried to smile. She thought the woman might be a new customer. Finally, the woman came to the counter. She ordered a cup of coffee. Ashley prepared the coffee. She put it on the counter for the woman. As Ashley gave her the cup, the woman smiled. It was a strange smile. It was not a happy smile. It was a smile that held a secret. "You must be Ashley," the woman said. Her voice was quiet. Ashley was surprised. "Yes, that's me," she said. "Do I know you?" Ashley tried to remember. She thought maybe she had seen the woman somewhere before, but she could not remember her face. The woman leaned a little closer. Her eyes were serious. "My name is Nina," she said. Then she added words that made Ashley's heart stop. "I am Tom's wife, too." Ashley's hands were holding the coffee cup. They started to shake. She almost dropped the hot cup. The words, "Tom's wife, too," echoed in her ears. Ashley laughed. It was a nervous laugh. She thought it was a joke. Maybe it was a friend of Tom's playing a trick. "That's a funny joke," Ashley said. She tried to smile again, but her face felt stiff. Nina did not laugh. Her eyes stayed serious. They showed no humor. Ashley looked into Nina's eyes. In that moment, Ashley knew. This was not a joke. This was real. A cold feeling spread through Ashley's body. The truth hit her hard. Nina took her coffee. She turned and walked out of the bakery. She did not say another word. The bell rang again as she left. Ashley stood frozen behind the counter. She could not move. She could not speak. Her mind was full of Nina's words. "I am Tom's wife, too." How could this be true? Ashley had married Tom. They lived together. They were husband and wife. Was this woman telling the truth? Was it possible that Tom had another wife? The thought was impossible. It was unthinkable. Ashley's perfect world suddenly felt broken. It felt like a dream was ending. She stood there for a long time. The bakery was empty. The evening light grew dim. Ashley was left alone with a shocking truth that she could not understand. Her mind raced with questions, each one harder than the last. Her heart felt heavy, full of a new, painful weight. This visit changed everything for Ashley, leaving her in a deep state of confusion and disbelief. For the hard talk, Ashley could not sleep. The words Nina said kept playing in her mind. Tom's wife, too. It felt like a bad dream. Ashley turned in her bed many times. She looked at the clock. It was very late. Her heart beat fast. She felt cold, even under the warm blankets. Could it be true? Could Tom, her kind husband, be married to another woman? It was impossible. But Nina's eyes were serious. There was no joke in them. Ashley waited for Tom to come home. Every minute felt like an hour. She had so many questions. Her head hurt from thinking. She felt a deep sadness and a fear she did not understand. Finally, Ashley heard the door open. It was Tom. He walked quietly into the bedroom. He looked tired. Ashley sat up in bed. Her voice was shaky. "Tom," she began. She took a deep breath. "Who is Nina?" Tom stopped. His face changed. All the color left his cheeks. He looked at Ashley, then looked away. He did not speak for a moment. He sat down slowly on the edge of the bed. He put his hands over his face. Ashley watched him. Her own hands were shaking. "Ashley," he said, his voice very quiet. "I can explain everything." But his words were weak. He took his hands from his face. His eyes looked sad. He told Ashley that Nina was his first wife. They had married many years ago before he met Ashley. He said their relationship was very difficult. He said they were separated, but they were not divorced. He told Ashley that things were complicated with Nina. Ashley felt a terrible shock. Her head swam. The room seemed to spin. Her beautiful marriage, her happy life, it all felt like a big lie. A lie Tom had told her. She felt a wave of anger. How could he do this? How could he hide such a big secret? She had trusted him completely. Now that trust was broken into many pieces. Tears came to her eyes. "How could you?" she cried. "You lied to me. Our marriage, it's not real." Tom tried to hold her hand. "No, Ashley, please listen. I love you. You are my real future. You are the only one I want. Nina, she is the past. This is very hard to explain, but please believe me. I want to be with you. Only you." His words did not make her feel better. They only made her feel more confused and hurt. Her heart was broken. The man she loved, the man she married, was not who she thought he was. Her world had completely changed in one night. She looked at him, feeling a deep pain. The future he spoke of seemed impossible now. Finding more answers. The next day, Ashley knew she needed to find out more. Her mind was still full of questions. She remembered the coffee receipt Nina had left at the bakery. On it, there was a name and an address. It was for a luxury fashion store in the city center. Ashley decided to go there. She wanted to talk to Nina again. She needed to understand everything. During her lunch break, Ashley walked to the store. It was a big, fancy place with expensive clothes and shiny windows. Inside, everything looked perfect and clean. Ashley felt a little out of place, but she walked in. She looked around for Nina. After a moment, she saw her. Nina was talking to a customer, looking very professional. When Nina finished, Ashley walked up to her. "Nina," Ashley said softly. Nina turned. Her face was calm, but her eyes were cold. "Ashley," she said without surprise. Ashley took a deep breath. "I need to talk to you," she said. "About Tom." Nina nodded slowly. She led Ashley to a quiet corner of the store away from other people. "What do you want to know?" Nina asked. Her voice was steady. "Is it true?" Ashley asked. "Are you his wife?" "Yes, I am," Nina replied. "We have been married for many years. We have been living apart for 1 year now, but he still visits me sometimes. He still tells me I am his wife." Ashley's heart felt heavy. "He told me he was separated," Ashley said. "He told me I was his future." Nina looked at Ashley. "He tells me the same things," she said. "He tells me he loves me. He tells you the same." "He tells me I am his wife. He tells you the same. Who do you think is the liar, Ashley?" Ashley felt very sick. Her head started to spin. She had trusted Tom completely. She had believed his every word. Now she understood. Tom had been living 2 different lives. He had lied to both of them. He had kept 2 women in the dark. Ashley was one of them, trapped in a web of lies. Nina was the other. The truth was like a cold wave washing over her. Tom had not just lied about being separated. He had actively kept Nina in his life, giving her hope, while building a whole new life with Ashley. He had played a cruel game with both of their feelings. Ashley felt a deep pain in her chest. She realized Tom was not the man she thought he was. He was a master of deception. She felt foolish, angry, and deeply betrayed. The perfect life she thought she had was nothing but a cruel illusion. She was trapped, just like Nina, in Tom's big lie. Now she knew the full extent of his dishonesty. There was no going back from this truth. 6. A hard choice. For many weeks, Ashley lived like a ghost in her own home. A heavy sadness filled her heart. She could not look at Tom, let alone talk to him. Their small apartment, once a place of love, now felt cold and empty. Ashley spent long hours at the bakery, working until the last light of day was gone. When she finally returned home, she would make a bed on the living room couch. She slept there, far from Tom, feeling a deep distance grow between them. Tom tried hard to bridge this gap. Every day, he sent Ashley many text messages, filled with apologies and pleas. He asked her to forgive him. He wrote that he loved her and wanted to fix their broken marriage. He often left small gifts or flowers for her, hoping to make her smile again. But Ashley could not touch them. The pain was too deep. She felt lost and did not know what to do. Her heart remained heavy with betrayal. One quiet evening, Ashley was still at the bakery, cleaning up. The bell above the door rang softly. Nina walked in. Ashley was very surprised to see her. Nina's face was serious, but her eyes were kind. "Ashley," Nina said, her voice clear, "I am leaving Tom." Ashley stopped her cleaning and listened closely. Nina continued, "You should leave him too. He does not deserve either of us. He has hurt us both with his lies." Nina's words were strong and unexpected. Ashley felt a strange feeling of shared understanding with Nina. Nina was also a victim of Tom's deceit. This shared pain made Ashley feel less alone, and a new strength began to grow inside her. Nina's visit changed something in Ashley. Her words helped Ashley see the situation more clearly. Nina was right. Tom had lied to both women for a long time. He had caused so much sadness and confusion. Ashley realized she could not live with this uncertainty anymore. She needed a clear answer. She needed Tom to choose between his two lives. Ashley decided that she would talk to Tom one last time. This would be the final conversation, the moment for a decision. That night, Ashley waited for Tom to come home. When he opened the door, she stood up from the couch. Her voice was calm but firm. "Tom," she said, looking straight into his eyes, "you must choose. It is me or it is Nina." She waited for his words. Tom's face showed no emotion. He did not speak a single word. He just stood there looking at her, completely silent. Ashley waited for a long moment. Still, he said nothing. His silence was loud. It was a clear message. Ashley knew in her heart what she had to do next. His silence was his answer. It told her everything she needed to know about their future. 7. Starting alone. The next morning, Ashley made a very difficult decision. She started to pack her few clothes. With a heavy heart, she left Tom. She moved into a small room that was above the bakery where she worked. Her boss, a kind woman, was very understanding. She told Ashley she could stay there for as long as she needed. This support was a great comfort to Ashley. It gave her a safe and quiet place to begin her new, independent life. The first days and weeks in her new room were full of deep sadness. Ashley cried almost every night. Her heart felt broken from the betrayal and the lies Tom had told her. She thought about how her marriage had been a secret. It was a very painful time. She often felt lost and very much alone. The quiet room sometimes felt too empty. But slowly, very slowly, things began to change inside Ashley. She spent more time focused on her work at the bakery. The familiar rhythm of baking bread and cakes helped her mind. She talked more with her colleagues and friends. They listened to her and offered kind words. With each passing day, Ashley started to feel a little bit stronger. She began to understand something very important about herself. Her happiness did not depend on Tom or on any other person. It had to come from inside herself. She had her work, her supportive friends, and her own life. These things were real and true. She was slowly finding her own strength and her true self again. One afternoon, as Ashley walked down the street after work, she saw Nina. Nina was walking towards her from the other direction. They stopped when they met. Nina offered Ashley a small, quiet smile. She told Ashley that she was moving to another city soon. Nina said she was also starting a new life, far away from Tom. Ashley wished Nina well, and Nina wished Ashley well too. They understood each other without needing many words. They both knew they had escaped from Tom's many lies. It was a brief but meaningful moment of shared understanding between them. Ashley continued to build her new life, day by day. Each new day brought her more strength and confidence. She was learning to stand completely on her own 2 feet. The pain from Tom's deception was still there sometimes, but it was getting smaller and smaller. She was no longer defined by his actions or his deceit. She was Ashley, a baker, strong and truly independent. This new chapter of her life was all about her. She was starting alone, but she was not truly alone. She had herself, and that was enough. 8. A new life. A year had passed since Ashley left Tom. This year was a time of many changes and much growth. Ashley worked very hard. She saved every penny she could. Her dream was to open her own bakery. Now, 1 year later, her dream had come true. Her new bakery was in a busy part of the city. It was much bigger than the old one, with bright windows and a warm, inviting smell of fresh bread and sweet cakes. Customers loved it. Every morning, people lined up outside, eager for her delicious pastries and coffee. Ashley felt a deep joy in her work. She decorated cakes, kneaded dough, and served her happy customers. This bakery was hers, and it was a symbol of her new life. She had built it all by herself, with hard work and determination. Ashley had also changed a lot inside. She was no longer the sad, confused woman who had discovered Tom's lies. She was stronger, more independent. She learned to rely only on herself. Her happiness did not depend on anyone else. She found peace in her daily routine and strength in her own abilities. One sunny afternoon, a new customer came into the bakery. He was tall, with a kind smile. He ordered a slice of her famous apple pie. His name was Daniel. He was new to the city, he said, and looking for a good place to eat. When Daniel started visiting the bakery often, just like Tom had once done, Ashley felt a small worry. Was this history repeating? But Daniel was different. He was open and honest. He talked about his day, his work, and his family without secrets. He listened carefully when Ashley spoke. He was patient and respectful. Slowly, very slowly, Ashley started to trust again. Her heart, which had been broken into many pieces, began to heal. She realized that not all people were like Tom. Ashley often thought about her past. She understood now that her time with Tom was just one chapter in her long story. It was a difficult chapter, full of pain and learning, but it was not the whole book. She had closed that chapter. She had survived. She was free from the lies and the sadness. Now, when Ashley woke up early to bake, she felt a strong sense of peace. She was no longer afraid. Her life was hers to build, brick by brick, cake by cake. She was ready for a true, honest connection, a love that was real. Her new beginning was full of hope and promise. She had found her own strength and her own way.